Welcome to the Dichotica Devlog. Dichotica is a lighthearted RPG with a unique battle system where players can position their characters to avoid damage. The game is being developed by a team of 2 friends, and I'm tracking the progress of creating the game through this series of devlogs. This is episode 10. Dichotica finally has one of the most important features for making a good impression on players, a title screen. Okay, so maybe it doesn't look very impressive now, but most of the functionality is there. With the title screen is also the introduction of save slots. Each slot shows the name of the main character and the current playtime on that slot. You can also delete the data in a slot if you want to start the game over from the beginning. This is a feature that I wish I'd added sooner. Between the process of getting footage for these devlogs and testing new features, I've needed to reset my save file hundreds if not thousands of times. Having multiple slots has made testing early game content so much easier. I've also reworked the start of the vertical slice. The original plan was to make the slice go from the very beginning of the game all the way to the end of the first dungeon. The thing is, the game begins in an entirely different area, the Land of the Dead. We had very few assets completed for this area, and it seems somewhat pointless to focus efforts on making assets for 2 different areas when players at the vertical slice will spend nearly all of their time in just one of them. I've decided to cut that part of the vertical slice out and replace it with an introductory sequence of text boxes to explain the small bit of story so far and let players name the first character. The Land of the Dead will still be in the final game, but I'd rather cut it for now if it means getting the demo out faster. Next, 2 episodes ago I was trying to figure out if selling items to shops was something this game needed. I ended up deciding that it doesn't, so the shop menu is a lot cleaner now. Talking to the shopkeeper just goes into the buy screen immediately after the introductory dialogue. I might still add the ability to sell items to some sort of NPC, but I'm thinking it would only be a specific list of items themed around that character. I also added a bit of UI to the shop, so players can see the description of the item that they're buying. I plan to add some more UI features to the shop as well, like showing how many of the item you already have in your inventory and more. Speaking of shops, there's actually a new one in town. The restaurant is open for business, and players can get takeout to help them heal. Please note that, as usual, most of the sprites are either still being worked on or are placeholders. Notably, the 2 characters in here right now have no animation. Talking to the waitress opens up another shop that sells energy drinks, burgers, fries, and popsicles. Except for the energy drink, these food items are consumables that can't be used in battle. The burger heals 3 health while a popsicle heals 2. The fries heal 1 health to every single party member, because you can never eat fries without all your friends taking some. There's a new feature that you might have noticed in the restaurant, but it looks a lot better with proper animation, so let's go outside. Out here, you can see a fan of the Oracle, and he's walking around. That might not sound like a huge deal to you, but up until this point, all NPCs stood in place except for in very specific cutscenes. Making sure he didn't walk into the player's hitbox as he wandered around was an important thing to get right. As you can see, he wanders around randomly, pausing briefly. If the player gets in his way, he'll be blocked from walking into that tile. He also won't wander outside of a specific area we can define, so we can keep NPCs from blocking doors or walking off the edge of the map. The final new feature is a piece of side content I'm very excited for. It's still in the early stages, but I've added an arena to Lunarctic Town. In the arena, players can fight waves of monsters to grind for golden items. I also plan to add a reward system, where players will get prizes based on how far they get. The catch is that your party won't heal between rounds. You'll have to rely on the items in your limited inventory to get through each encounter. I'm not planning on having the rounds be random, so players will be able to plan for the encounters they've seen so far, and try and get further. Some of these encounters might even contain unique enemies that you can't find anywhere else in the game. That's it for this episode. This weekend we'll be taking part in the GM48 Game Jam, so I'll be posting an extra video about the game we make for that. If you have any suggestions for the game, I'd love to hear it from you, and if you want to keep following the progress of Dichotica, I'd love it if you subscribed. Thanks, and have a great day.